Yo, what up, good people? This your boy Tim, aka T.O. Speaks.
And it's your girl Yammy, aka Yams B Sam, and you are now tuned into
Love and Theology.
I know I've questioned many things in this world, but I never had to question your love. So I know one thing's for sure. I can put trust in a real love, your love.
For every mom who ever missed a meal so they would have enough to let their babies eat. Fathers who grind every day to provide more than good advice. Charlie Sheen, take it, everything you gotta take to bring the bacon home and put it on the table. You are not forgotten, legacies are made in our darkest hours. God is watching.
Yo, tell me, what thing are you most happy, most grateful, most thankful for in the last week?
Oh yeah, good. Thank you.
Yeah, it was good. Good. Tabitha got to see, family and stuff. She was really happy. And
Tabby is she gonna be what's that thing? She gonna be the big mama of her family. Every time she get a chance, I would love to see my it's Thanksgiving, it's a holiday. I would love to see my family. If are we gonna see my cousins? Are they sleeping over? Like those kind of things.
Right. Yep. So like you like to say, since ain't nobody gonna ask me the question, what I'm thankful for.
Oh no, I was in the middle of chewing. Go ahead.
Same thing. Pretty much got to see family. Got to see, just be around people. Good time. Good eat. Good drink. Just have a good time.
Oh,
got to celebrate. Got to celebrate one more time.
Okay. So, what are we talking about today?
Man, something that happened last week. Was it last week or when he get acquitted?
I don't know, child. But it happened recently.
Let me talk about. Excuse me. Bless me. Kyle Rittenhouse.
Why y'all say bless? Because Tabitha does that too. Why y'all say bless me? Is it because y'all want somebody to bless y'all?
Yeah, I think when people drop the ball, don't bless, have to bless myself. Just like have to speak things as they are.
That sounds insecure.
But you just dropped the ball on my blessings.
I mean, I didn't know what that was.
You just dropped the ball.
Hey, see, that's the difference between them and me in this household. They be looking for reasons to have conversations. So you're not gonna bless me. Bless me. Just bless yourself silently. Why does it matter?
I did it loudly so you can see where you dropped the ball at. Sometimes you gotta see it. And you gotta see it to believe it.
Because the way I am, I'm going to continuously ignore it. Every single time.
And we gonna keep doing it. That's how I teach my daughter. Do the same thing.
She's just as annoying with you as you about that.
But
anyway.
So last week, what happened, I didn't expect that to happen, but it's almost that feeling that you get like this time they're gonna get it right. Kyle Rittenhouse, the young Anglo/Saxon that got acquitted. Why you leave it like that?
She just left it alone.
I don't know how to say his last name. How you say it? Rittenhouse?
I don't know, but you should have left Anglo-Saxon alone.
That's exactly what they are.
Yeah, okay.
Are they not?
They.
People of the lighter skin. That's a fact.
I'm talking about. To me, that would be you.
No, I'm talking about the ones we call Caucasians.
So why'd you just say the young man who who traveled across state lines with a semi-automatic? It was a semi-automatic. What was it?
An AR-15.
What did AR-15?
I'm sure you what it looked like.
No. Stop being crazy. But yeah, go ahead.
So he travels across state lines with a gun, kills 2, injure 1. And gets acquitted, man. But see, I think the bigger problem is not that he got acquitted. The bigger problem is what I'm seeing after. Because, I really didn't expect the judicial system to pretty much do the right thing. I already knew. You know what I mean? That was probably going to happen. Because even when I saw the judge, how the judge was just killing the prosecutor every time he said something, I already knew what he wanted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That man, 80-something years old? I'm pretty sure he probably was a racist. You know
or he was just people tend to have compassion for people that they identify with. He's a white man looking at a young white man, having compassion for him in that way. And that's not justifying or saying that he's not racist, but I do not I don't be as quick to throw out the R word for every situation. Especially it having worked in the judicial system in this capacity and seeing trials upon trials, which is why I couldn't even stomach to watch yet another trial. He realized that when they talk about like feelings, they say like anger is not necessarily a feeling. It's just like it's what it manifests as, but there's really other layers to it. Like it could be hurt or fear or whatever. I think when we throw out the R word, we also have to sometimes composite it with other thoughts, which is the circumstances, age, how he's feeling, if he has a grant. Like it could be racism, but it could be something way more. It could be some other components that influence the behavior. Is it excusable? Absolutely not. Does it often happen, that same level of empathy or sympathy or whatever happen for black or brown people or Asian or anybody non-white? Not necessarily.
Right. Okay. Well, okay.
I mean, you don't gotta agree. It's just my perspective. I think I'm influenced. My attitude is influenced by being not just a black person in America, but an islander in America. Because the same way that how black people in America view white people, our experiences as a family of immigrants have been that with white and black people. So I'm not like I can't be as quick to label a black person as prejudiced or racist, even though my experiences in America with black people have been that they have been prejudiced or racist towards Haitians. You see what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it was great political answer. I respect
It's not
that.
political. It's how I feel.
I respect that. I respect that all the way. But what it shows, though, to be honest with you, guys, after I looked at TV and saw the comments people made, how divided we are here in America, man.
What do you say? How you say that?
Because, I mean, you got one side that's saying, yeah, Cal, he's a hero, calling this boy a hero. And then you got our side, I would say,
most African Americans.
like, we're like, man, this is crazy, man. You know what I mean?
You know what?
So I asked you, like, why is that? Go ahead.
But you know what bothers me though? And like you hear this a lot, like on the social media platforms. I'm gonna use an example. I'm gonna tailor it back to what we're talking about. So when Ruth Bader Ginsburg died, right? It was floats of people, like, because this was right at the end of the Trump administration. People are like, dang, he gonna get another person to go ahead and put into whatever, and we were like, dang, man. People were publicly emoting based off of how they felt about it. They like, dog, you know what I'm saying? This is tragic, you know what I'm saying? Because X, Y, Z, ABC. The other people that are like, well, she should have been left, but she chose not to left, and she's the reason why we have this conflict or whatever. And then there were other people that were like, God is supposed to, God is the God above all. He can see all things. You shouldn't worry about this thing. Let people feel the way they feel.
Yeah, that's true.
Like y'all be out here just be strong black women get up, and it's not strong black. It's just only black women, but you know what I'm saying. It's men too that just have this posture of y'all shouldn't worry about. Nah, I'm allowed to feel how I feel, and if I'm on my platform feeling the way I feel about this, let me feel that way. The same thing with this whole Rittenhouse. You had everybody from lawyers and non-lawyers being on, well, the system is rigged against us, blah, blah. Okay, I get it. But also, this is how I feel. Let me feel the way I feel. If I'm upset that the justice system didn't work out for this in this case, where the victims in this case were white, right? Right. Then I should have the right to feel upset about that. And especially now when this cat is out here doing interviews and, just out here talking about, I support the Black Lives Matter. Because, yeah, you came there with a... Anyway, my point is, let people feel the way they feel. There are people that come on this podcast, they type in their comments, even if we agree or disagree. Let them feel how they feel. without you being like, y'all shouldn't be upset about. I should be upset about whatever I want to be upset about. Period. Point blank. That's my feelings on this matter.
Yeah.
What's your question?
I don't know. I have no idea.
That was my thoughts.
I mean, but even with that, I think you're right. I think what happens, man, is people everybody, like you said, I mean, what you said is so good. Everybody has a comment on everybody feeling, man. I mean, that's the sad thing about it. Like, you're so true. Like, you got the right to feel every emotion that you got to feel, and I don't have a right to sit there and say you're wrong. You know?
Here go the internet lawyers, bruh. Nah, these are just human beings. Even if they have differing opinions, even if it's wrong,
Right.
like, you know what I'm saying. I saw something today that said, celebrate publicly, criticize privately. I don't think people are pulling people to the side enough anymore to be like, hey, let's have a conversation about this, just so I can really see how you feel about this stuff. And I know that social media is what it is. It's supposed to be public. The people who are supposed to be on there are your friends, technically, yada yada yada. But I'm also saying that y'all, I don't know. I just think that people are so gosh darn critical about everything when they just need to sometimes let people. It don't cost nothing to scroll past someone else's opinion.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. It doesn't. I mean, my thing is this: if you don't like what they're saying, golly, like even on social media, if you don't like what somebody's saying, you don't have to look at it. You don't have to look at it. I don't understand it. Why are you looking at it, getting upset about something that you don't like? I never understood that.
I have muted and blocked and unfollowed a number of people, specifically in 2020, based off of, this is consistent. And people have done the same thing to me. I get it.
I have people that say, hey, man, I reached out to you on Facebook, Instagram, why you didn't hit me back? I'm like, that's not a real place. But
it is, however, a form of contact. So
I mean, the same person that have my phone number will be like, I hit you on. Why you just ain't text me?
Some people are like that though. It's kind of like the first platform that they talk to you on.
I don't think that's the first platform because phone was here before that. So I think that's just what they choose to do without just going.
Why does it matter?
No, I'm just saying you should know who you're dealing with. I would never reach out to somebody.
How would someone know what they're
dealing with? Because they used to call this particular person used to call me before they started trying to hit me on Facebook. Why would you change it up?
Okay,
you get what I'm saying?
Tim is going to be the old man sitting on the porch complaining about people enjoying life.
Like
stop laughing so much, huh? Why are you so happy, huh? So what if it's Christmas?
But they said, Kevin Hart said, the joke he do with the old man, he's like, come here, somebody come look at this. And then we go out there and look, ain't nothing but some kids playing the league.
Just have it, enjoy. Have it, enjoy. Tim, he is definitely going to be that. I just don't understand.
Like getting back to Kyle Rittenhouse, it shows how divided we are as a nation, man. It's crazy, man. Like, the problem of racism or even enslaving people here in America still bleeds over, man. When is it gonna stop? What do you think it's gonna take to stop this type of division here in America? Do you think it's ever gonna stop?
We live in a fallen world. I think this is a part of the consequence. The consequences of living in a fallen nation. Fallen world. Fallen world refers to, the whole Adam and Eve thing, man.
It's just like even with the Ahmaud Arbery case going on right now, like the stuff that they trying to do to vilify Ahmaud Arbery, to justify that these people who hunted him down, shot him, could be justified to walk away in self-defense. How you gonna smack somebody, get beat up, and then say, I gotta kill him now because he beat me up? You started the offense. No, I'm just using an example. Like they hunted this boy down with a gun. Now he began to respond with a flight response, and now they're like, oh, my life is in danger. And then they shoot him. You get what I'm saying? No, I'm gonna tell you what they was. They saw a black man run through their neighborhood, and they went and hunted him down for running wild black. Let's just call it what it is. It's all what it is. But you still have people saying, "Oh, look at his history. Look what he did here. Look what he did there. He apparently stole something, so they had the right to stop somebody." No, the police don't even have the right to stop you. You don't even have to stop for the police if you haven't committed a crime. The police tell you, sit there, come here, hey, stop, come here. You can keep on walking, man. If you haven't done anything, they don't have a right to stop you. So yet alone a citizen try to stop you.
I think that you should also always stop if they tell you to, because
No, you should, but you don't have to. The law states you don't have to. If there has been a crime committed, I don't have to tell you to stop. I'm going to get you. There's a difference.
okay.
You understand what I'm saying? So, but if I sit there and say,
But
hey,
you know how easily these some of them could be like where you resisted an obstruction charge. You resisted a command.
you're right, but what I'm trying to tell you is what the law says.
I get what you're saying.
In a litigation process that's going on with my area, and Kyle County is doing a great job too. I would tell you that.
I completely understand what you're saying, but with the slew of people watching you now, my thought is always to say, stop.
I mean, you should. But the truth of the matter is, maybe we start utilizing the law as well as they utilize the law. They'll stop doing other things because we don't know the law as well. I'm telling you what the law states. That's all I'm trying to say.
I also would say.
But what I'm saying is this: you going somewhere else. What I'm saying is that they're trying to justify that by saying that he didn't stop for us when we wanted to talk to him. That's their argument.
Well, which is also different because these were civilians. These were non.
Right. So and that's what I'm going back to. Like even with police, you don't have to. So I definitely ain't got to with a civilian person. You see what I'm saying? I don't have to stop for you. You get what I'm trying to say?
No, I completely understand what you're saying. I'm just saying that this is a platform that people trust you on. They know that you have law enforcement.
Well, the thing is this: if you committed a crime and you don't stop, that's on you. I'm just saying, like what the states, what the law states,
in the state of Georgia. Anyway, continue.
So basically, what I'm saying is this: what do you think gonna stop the divide between, white, black, Democrat, Republican, law enforcement, civilian? You see what I'm saying? Because even with law enforcement, being law enforcement, I have came across people that think that I'm supposed to be in agreement with them on the act that the police officer did wrong just because we police. And I'm like, nah, I'm a human being that bleeds red, not blue, and the person that this act was done to looks just like me.
Red blood, meaning blood,
You're
as
right.
opposed to just the blue ball of silence or whatever. I honestly don't know. I have an idea. I think that if people would be more willing to openly have dialogue, that it might create. The problem is that these groups, right? Democrat, Republican, white, black, male, female, law enforcement, civilian. The problem is that we don't see humanity in the other person.
Right.
And we're not as open enough at times to see. We're not as open enough to be empathetic to someone else's disposition. I used to tell someone, I remember right around the time that what was it? It was the Dallas sniper shooting. Mm-hmm. It was where they were just killing cops, right?
Right.
I went into work one day and people were just like, oh, this is ridiculous, da 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 da. I was like, and I remember telling them, I was like, here's the thing. You are rightfully upset about the killing of cops on this side, but do you understand that me, as a wife of someone who's in law enforcement, I fear for my husband twice. When he puts on that badge, and he goes out into the community, I fear that he might lose his life. And when he takes off this badge and he runs maybe around dusk in this neighborhood and people don't know that he's law enforcement or people don't know him or people think that he's whatever.
That's true.
I fear for his life.
I remember when I used to go running about 7 o'clock before it got dark. Yeah, I'd be like, don't do it. She was so mad, like, why are you running late?
No, because and even that was a discrepancy between you and me because you thought that you were right and you weren't open to my perspective. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was right. And mind you, we live in a county where I was an investigator for our county. So I knew more about this area than he had understanding of. I mean, and down the street from the corner of our house, we had somebody who got American, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
An F. Biden flag floating around. And even if you didn't support Biden, but you support America, does that not appear to be treasonous?
I'm gonna tell you, whoever that guy is, man, in the neighborhood, that's a man that's willing to kill somebody. I mean, that's just really how I feel. You know what I mean? Like, I really do believe that. I think he's waiting for the opportunity.
I feel like this is trolling. Give me 1 second. So, what do you think? What do you think is gonna help to bring about change, I guess.
I believe it's like a lot, right? I believe that first, the first thing that you said is probably one of the biggest things. You gotta be willing to have a conversation. Hear the other side problems, why they feel the way they feel, and then they need to hear our feelings. And don't even try to argue with it. Just hear their feelings and understand why they feel this way. Because I think oftentimes, most of the times, racism or division of any sort is more of especially with our age, right? It's something that they picked up from their parents. You see what I'm saying? They saw how their parents act and don't really know why, right?
Right.
It's just like the little girl in Tabitha class that sit there that make racist remarks all the time. This is a little bitty child, right? She knows nothing about hate, so she had to pick up that hate from her parents. You see?
Right.
So, oftentimes, racism is nursed from their mother's breast. I like to say, right? You see what I'm saying? So, and once they get to realize that you're hating something that you don't even understand, I think they'll start bringing up a conversation, right? I also believe that it's going to take a part of even white people to begin to call out their ills and stop trying to mask it. You know what I mean? By saying, I don't see it. They have to see it. We're not going to be able to alleviate this by ourselves, right? They're going to have to sit, just like the civil rights movement. It wouldn't have been as successful if it was only black people. I believe it was successful because, like the massacre on the Pettis Bridge, I believe when America first saw it happen in real time, but also some saw it happen to people that looked like them, they began to be like, man, we are messed up individuals, right? So it's going to take them to even call out these pains and these ills here in America. And also, it's going to take us. You know what I mean? It's going to take black people. I think we done got so comfortable with our state of living that we don't even want to call out things to make things uncomfortable no more. So, like you say, you might have this one person who you was out going on your job, right? Like you will speak up for stuff, right? But if you're the only one doing it, guess what you become? The angry black girl. You see what I'm saying? Because every other black person see it, but they be like, I ain't gonna say nothing, man. Yada yada yada. So I believe that it's gonna take a combination of all those things to come together to begin to call out these ills, right? It's just like when a black person sit there and talk about at the job, just one of my coworkers, my last job, but see black women be like, look at their hair, look how they dress. I used to look at this person and be like, bro, what's wrong with you? You doing the same thing to these black women that they do to the black women. You making it okay for them to do it. You giving them the green light to talk about black women. You see what I'm saying? So it's gonna take a combination of us standing up for each other, for white people to call out the ills, and then the conversation has to happen. That's what I believe.
I was watching, I've been watching old episodes of A Different World, and there was an episode where Ron's car gets written, like they're having like a rivalry game, and Ron's car, like someone writes N.I., for the rest of the term on his car, and they get in an altercation, and the campus police officer wants to have a discussion about what's going on. So he was like, I need y'all to tell me what happened, both sides. So he said everybody gave their perspective of it, and of course their perspective was skewed based off of their lens. Even they showed what really happened, and every perspective was a little bit skewed based off of their lens of the situation or their recollection of the situation. And at one point, the police officer says, or Dwayne says, we shouldn't expect you to get justice out of you. And he was just kind of like, why? And you're right, because I could be a card-carrying member of the KKK, or I could have marched with Dr. King. You don't know. So maybe you should stop looking at me as a color. Mm-hmm. And he was saying that to Dwayne's character, who's the black character, if you've never watched the show. And I think that's a perspective that I try to carry rather, and I think that we need to carry, because what happens, similar to what you were saying, is that we will eventually become the thing that we hate if we don't learn to have open dialogue and earnest and fruitful conversations outside of our emotive state.
Hey, you're absolutely right. Even in clergy are things of that nature. I think that we have to have a real conversation about even how we see the Bible. Even that's split. Even that's divided. You know what I mean? Even that's divided. Even like in the Ahmaud Arbery case when the prosecutor stood up and said, "I don't want any more black pastors," right?
How many pastors do they have?
How many pastors do
First
they
of all, it was a pandemic, so I was watching everybody.
So I'm gonna be honest with you, man. That kind of stuff don't make me mad. It's kind of funny that this man got the balls to say this.
Because he like it's a form of intimidation,
Right?
But if that's the case, then we should be afraid of the bailiff that's standing in the courtroom,
Right.
or
you. All the 11 white and only one person of other color that was on the jury. You know what I mean?
Man.
But even so, man. What was the white evangelical standing up with all our brothers say? Well, you know what? They saying no more black pastors. Us white people gonna go in and support them. You see what I'm saying? But they was nowhere to be found. Why is that, right?
Oh, or could have not been publicized. Ain't no telling because the media.
Man, this thing was on CNN. It was all over what he said.
No. I'm saying that the news media may not have shown because the news media has agendas too. So
No, propaganda is the biggest too. But what I'm saying, you saying that they didn't show that he said that?
No, showing that that there may have been some white clergy there.
I mean, all I know is that Jamal Bryant, they spoke on how they didn't show up.
White evangelical, the most popular of white evangelicals. Yeah.
They they was there. You know what I mean? So
shoot, we should have been there. Why weren't we there?
I had to work. Remember, I told you I was gonna be there if I didn't have to work. But
we could have dropped the Brunswick.
But even with that, why is it so that it's even divided there down in the lines of the Bible? How people see Jesus? Because to be honest with you, white people created a certain Jesus, and black people have too.
It started from before then. There's an Eastern replica of Jesus and a Western replica of Jesus from back in the day. And I can't remember which one is which, but let's say the Eastern, it has Jesus all jeweled up, crown on his head, King of kings, Lords of lords. And then the Western has Jesus as a lowly peasantry version of person. So yeah, to your point, it's been divided by race, but that started a long time ago. That started with Constantinople.
I'm gonna tell you, I was even with my studies here recently. I was reading where if you go to different places like Asians Jesus look different. It's like he look like Asians. You know what I mean? So black people Jesus look different. Look like a black person.
Black Jesus.
White people Jesus look different. But even with that, like even if you were to know like Michelangelo, he's the one that pretty much drew the Jesus that we see today, the white blue-eyed Jesus, because I think it was the bishop, I forget the bishop name, who goes to him who told him, I need you to paint a picture of Jesus. He had no image to go off of, right?
He just went off of his own lens.
Well, it was this person, and it was this person who upstairs, some in the house that was having a baby, and guess who drew the picture of? This white man who was giving birth to whose wife was giving birth to a child, man. That's all he had to go off of, and apparently he tore down a lot of different ones. He said that's the one he wants, so he created this Jesus, the bishop.
Based off of something
exactly
he assimilated with.
Right, the Western Jesus that we know today. Now, if you want to really go and do historical contents about Jesus, I mean, we could easily point to the fact that he probably was a man of color. I mean, that's just.
Yeah, but he wasn't black.
I mean, I don't.
He was Jewish, so if he was a bronze of any sort, he would have been the bronze of people in that community.
So, what people in Egypt? Were they black or Jewish?
They could have been black. I have no. I've heard when I think about Moses, I think of Moses as a darker skinned, person. But what I'm saying though is that black people just be like, hair of wool. That means that he had 4C hair.
Even with that, even with that in Revelation, what they don't realize was it was an image that who was the writer of Revelation? John. It was John. So they think that you know what I mean? He became in a divine type figure at that point. What John saw, like he was. Had eyebrow. He had transformed. It was something that I studied.
At the core of it, I really don't think it matters.
That's what I'm gonna sit here and say. At the end of the day, it doesn't.
White Jesus, black Jesus, Asian Jesus, Hispanic Jesus.
But does it not matter?
Me.
because it actually has played a significant role here in America.
But that's
to be
because,
honest with you.
but I think that's because people like to identify with like winners. Okay, let me go ahead and give an example to your Bulldogs, for instance, right? People like to be with winners. So
I'm not a Bulldog fan,
you are born and raised in Athens. So you're a Bulldogs.
I don't have to.
Okay, my point is that people like to be with winners. So they like to identify with winners. So whatever a winner is, they like to identify with. And if they feel like they're a winner, or if a conglomerate of people have made this the standard of winning, that's what they're going to identify with. I'm saying it doesn't matter. Because like for me, it don't matter all day and all night. Until I finish paying my student loan, I'm going to be an orange and blue Gator. You hear me?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I think
even if they're losing, which they have lost.
I think you're right. Well, I don't think it matters because you and I are pretty much beyond that in our spiritual walk, right? Because we know the essence of Jesus is more than just the color, right?
If white Jesus came to save me, as long as he came to save me, it'd be all right.
But
you don't want to be saved by white Jesus?
I just don't think he's a white man.
That's fine.
But what I'm saying is,
I guess you're not as further.
But what I'm saying, no, I'm just saying, I just go off the facts, the historical facts.
I understand what you're saying. My point though is, if white Jesus saves me, I'll take white Jesus also. Asian Jesus saves me, that's all right with me. Hispanic Jesus save me, andale.
This right here, like what you're saying right now, can have so many problems with people that try. Like, you gotta leave. But what I'm trying to say is this right here. That the reason it was important because of how they skewed. They did that for a reason. In Western America, adopted that image of Jesus for a reason, to show dominance of the white man.
Isn't that what I just said?
You know what I'm saying? So it could be a problem. So black people never see themselves doing anything great. They knew exactly what they was doing with that.
But that's the tale of our history. If you look at the history of all things, you can find there are theories that that the birth of people came from a black woman. Mm-hmm. Black women are the only people are the only people who could create a variant of colors. And then even now, like you have, that's why we have the argument of with some people who don't want to believe in what we believe in Christianity. They say it's a white man's God because of what they created, right? But not only do they know that black people, I would argue, wrote the Bible. St. Augustine was from East Africa. Tertullian was from Africa. All these are the people how we coupled and got to what we know today as the Bible that we read. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, and then you have what's the other guy named Saint I forget his name, but anyway, he wrote the Latin Vulgate, which is where we got the Septuagint and how we got to what we know today as the Bible. So Jerome, his name was Jerome, man. Saint Jerome, man. Jerome was a German name.
Saint Jerome, but where he was
Jerome
from
ain't even a black name.
But where he was from shows that that he might have been a man of color, right? Yeah. So, and because of his writing, is pretty much is how we got what we read today. You see what I'm saying? So, I do think it plays a part. History has to be true, but I will say this: history is also slightly skewed. There's no 100% accurate history. All history written from our history book, even from down to what Martin Luther King did, depends on who wrote it. It's skewed through the lens of the writer, just a little bit. Even the historical Bible that we read is skewed through the hands that it was written.
Even the things that we say, it's skewed through our own perspective, which is why you should always do your own research in general. Well, I don't even know how we got down this rabbit hole.
I don't know, but I think it's good. We getting back to Kyle Rittenhouse.
I mean, I think essentially. At the core.
So how do you feel about Kyle getting off? How did that make you feel? Do you think he deserved it?
No, I think he deserves to do some real serious jail time. Because no matter what, which is my thought is how when the judge threw out the the gun charge.
Oh yeah.
I remember thinking, I was like, oh, that was it. That's still the fate.
That's a wrap.
Because like the how can you prove intent without the gun charge? Mind you, I'm not a lawyer. I just been around a whole bunch of them. I don't know. I don't even remember. Honestly, my years at the DA's office is a whole blur. Because it was so filled with good times, but also some really, especially towards the end, some really angry times.
Filled with pain.
Not pain. It was anger. It was venom. But so I can't say I know for certain how. I didn't look at the charges. I didn't study the case. I didn't research it. I didn't even watch it much. I just got like a lot of the recaps. I just know that in this what should have been very, very plainly at the core, I feel bad for the victims because. Yeah. And I think that's what I posted. I think this young man lives to terrorize people another day.
And you know what's sad about it, man? Like they already said that, like internet. I was looking at news, like people on the internet that support him saying, "Yeah, it's time to gun up." Like they didn't give people a green light to say I can shoot people and get away with it now. And guess what's gonna happen? It's gonna happen. The stuff that we see on TV is just a small percentage of what's really going on. You know what I mean? With killings. Even police killings. All of them are not getting highlighted. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Every last one of them is not.
It's a good shoot versus a bad shoot.
Right. Even this right here, my Arbor case wouldn't have came to the forefront if somebody didn't dig it up pretty much.
Yeah, people had same thing. As we're talking about that, Breonna Taylor. Like,
look at her, man.
No reason at all for whatever to have happened the way. I mean, there was a series of negligent events that people should be highly penalized for.
Right.
That resulted in a death of someone, a civilian, a person who technically was on the same side as law enforcement.
And then on the charge he got was shooting through a wall. Oh, God.
Wasn't even for the black girl.
Yep.
Oh boy, they don't care about us.
So it wasn't even, I mean, I don't think it's a women are in that sense. I don't, because
everybody had like you just said. Everybody views things through their own lens.
Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is, I think even with that, yeah, to be honest with you, I think that furthers divide the cause of what we're trying to fight for as black people, right?
Okay.
I believe if we begin to keep on putting that down the line, while I do know that I believe that the black woman is the most attacked woman in America. I do believe that in the world. You know what I mean? But I believe in this sense, we can't separate our fight based on gender. We have
to your point, I agree with you, but I think that with relation to the cause, black women are always supportive of black men,
right?
Very much so, and or making sure that that they are forever protected, especially by this mean justice system.
Right, and like I said, I agree with you, but what I'm trying to say is this right here: in this fight, we can't be fighting with each other, then trying to fight these people. We got to come together. Like I said, I sit here and recognize that there's an issue amongst black women. I just said it, but I think black women are the most attacked women here on the planet, the most unappreciated. I do believe that, right? We see it. Y'all catch it in the workplace. You catch it from other black men. You catch it from white men. You catch it from white women. You see what I'm saying? So, but I believe in this fight right here, we can't fight with each other and saying that we getting treated better, y'all getting treated better, when we got a bigger fight. So I think that we need to work amongst each other to fix what's going on inside our race in order to push forward to defeat this whole system of injustice that's going on against us. You know, a house divided can't stand together. That's what it says. So we consider ourselves a house. We have to come together in order to fight this big monster that we got to deal with.
I agree. I also do agree that I'm within my rights to also say that in this fight, I feel like women are not being advocated for as much. That's my point. Mm-hmm. Just as much as women, black women specifically, advocate for black men, mm-hmm. Black men need to advocate for black women in the same way. So agreed. But it feels like in this case you would be the white man in this case. You would be the one that's highly regarded. And there's no confusion about how unjust society is to the black man. What I'm saying though is that oftentimes it feels like they don't care about us.
Who is they?
Anybody, everybody, they.
So, sweetheart, let me ask you, babe. What's your theology after this right here?
I don't know. You go first.
Well,
you were ready, boy.
my theology, no, kind of just came, right? My theology is this after I just got read up and down by my wife on this subject is shut the hell up, Tim, and don't have an opinion on nothing. First, I think that we need to come together as a community, as a whole, black, white, Asian, everything, to end this problem of hate and racism and racism. And then also, we must redefine and begin the true meaning of arguments, right? Just because I have a different opinion of somebody, or even a racist, man, that don't mean that we gotta hate each other. Maybe if we have a conversation, we both can come to an agreement on why it is that we feel this way, right? And then secondly, I learned that,
You're on your
third point, I learned that, once again, when a black woman speaks, shut up. Don't say anything. My wife just got me all together. Thank you, babe. That's my theology.
I think that's inappropriate theology. My theology on this, yeah. I just think that because Tim and I obviously don't agree about everything, right? And like I'm pretty sure I'm slicing a lot of what we were saying just because. But the point is to always be open to having a dialogue. That's my theology. If you're not open or willing to have a dialogue with someone, even one to whom you may disagree, then you can shut the heck up.
You're right. Timing is everything. And my time was all the way off with it.
He is just on this, like, just because it's like Tim is just like a little baby. Anytime you disagree with him and be like, "Oh, we had an argument." No, I am by nature an avid debater. I'm not going to pull back just because we don't have the same thought process. Here you go.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think that's what we need to define argument and fight. There's a difference,
But I didn't say it was.
I know that. I'm saying arguments are good to have. Arguments are good. We're supposed to have arguments. A debate is an argument. You're arguing your point, somebody arguing their point. But I think most people see arguments as voices getting loud. That's no longer an argument.
Who's most people?
That's a fight.
But maybe that goes back to your lens. So if you're used to how that's how you guys debated where y'all were from, and then here I am, a different person. Because, like, we talk about this oftentimes. Like, I'm an island person. You see a group of island people, it's going to be loud. It's going to be a lot of hand gestures. It's going to sound like someone's getting ready to fight with each other. But they might just be talking about, dominoes or sports or, something insignificant. So a lot of what we had to work through, especially in our marriage, is what that looks like to each other. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, for me, I talk with my hands when I'm getting passionate and stuff like that. But that can be aggressive to him.
Yeah. So,
which I wasn't doing in this case. I was actually sitting here talking calmly, but he still thought of it as aggressive. But whatever.
No, I never said it was aggressive. I never said that. When I was reading the argument thing, I'm talking about the arguments amongst blacks and whites. That's the thing that we don't. I wasn't talking about the argument. I'm talking about, like, you ever notice that? You ever heard when people say, "I don't talk politics or religion inside the workplace"? Mm-hmm. I think that's a problem, man. You know why? Because we've never been taught to talk this stuff. I think we've been taught to have these conversations. It would have been great. So we just stay away from them because we know that we don't know how to have that conversation without it becoming heated.
I agree.
That's the issue. You see what I'm saying? Because we never taught how to have these conversations.
Meanwhile, they used to talk about this stuff all the time.
Oh, hey, that's the thing, man. That's another. I'm not going to get on that. I'm going to leave that alone. I was gonna say, like, they used to talk about it all the time. I know who they is, right? They feel comfortable talking about it. Be us that be like, I ain't gonna touch it. I ain't gonna tell them.
I would say I wasn't specifically making reference to it. They.
Oh, okay.
I was saying people in my office. We so happened to actually. Okay. Well, all right, guys. Bye.
I know I've questioned many things in this world, but I never had to question your love. So I know one thing's for sure. I can put trust in real love, your love.
For every mom who ever missed a meal so they would have enough to let their babies eat. Fathers who grind every day to provide more than good advice. Charlie Sheen, take it everything you gotta take to bring the bacon home and put it on the table. You are not forgotten. Legacies are made in our darkest hours. God is watching. Keep your faith. Don't bend, don't fold. There's a lyric I quote. Tell me trouble don't last always. There's a Christ I know who revives the soul of the one who lose their way. Pursue the one who promised us a peace of mind. I tried to fly high on my choice of vice, but then I found Christ was the road to life.
Anything